This episode of A She Thing is brought to you by Sincere Loungewear, a luxury loungewear brand dedicated to making women look and feel good, all at an affordable price. So shop with Sincere Loungewear today at sincereloungewear.com. Hey y'all, it's Jasmine with The She Thing, and this is G, my trainer. Get me right. Okay. Alright, so today we're gonna work out and we're also gonna talk to y'all. I gotta start it over. Hey ladies, this is Jasmine with The She Thing, and this is G, my trainer. She been getting me right, y'all. Get squatting. Alright, so today we're gonna do a workout because this is what we do, but we're also gonna have a serious conversation with you guys, and I hope you like it. Alright, so we're starting over from the top, right? From the top, make it drop. This is wet. Alright.
So remember, you're going to squat down. It's like you just pull your arms, come up.
Alright. So do you want to tell the people a little bit about yourself?
4. I don't even know what to say. 5. Just so y'all know, she put me on the spot. I thought we were just coming to work out. And she said no. I'm using all of your time today.
Absolutely.
Well, everybody calls me G. My name is Genise. I usually tell people to call me G because they can't say Genise right. Don't know why. From Jersey. 37. Favorite color is purple.
No, bro. You couldn't miss it if you would.
I don't really know what to say.
You're a trainer.
I am a trainer. I do it full time. I have a son. I have a husband. Keep them alive. I've been training now 4 years. This is actually my anniversary month.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, I don't ever do anything for it. I don't know why.
When is it? Like, what's the day?
It's like the 15th or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I started doing it in my backyard. I just would have a bunch of people over and just do different type of training with different people.
Yeah.
And then I would have people do it in my spare room. Like I would have a workout room and I would do it there, so people would come there. And then when COVID really hit, I would travel to people and work out with them. So I enjoy it.
Okay, so what's the next one?
All right. Core stability.
Oh, yes. 10s, please, thank you.
I looked at them 15. So.
Appreciate you. You're trying to get me off. All right, so today we're going to talk childhood.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so I feel like we all have like childhood experiences, some positive, some negative, some that like deter us from like really going into like our path, and others that motivate us to go harder, right? So what would you say is that experience for you that allowed you to become the woman you are today? It could be like a top 3.
A top 3.
Or you could just say one, whatever like you feel more comfortable doing.
All right, you do the workout.
Okay.
One, top 3. I have unpopular opinions to talk about. I have tried to commit suicide twice in my life. Obviously, it didn't take. I was molested at a very young age. And I was also kicked out at 18, so there was a lot of molding.
Big things that happen to you in your life.
Yeah,
So let's dive into. You're putting it on?
I did.
You know we was outside today.
I did. I forgot. I was getting the weights in the car.
Gee, it should be sunblock in your damn vehicle.
I forgot to put it in there. I did buy some for my car today. I'm good. I'm good so far.
She's ridiculous.
We're good so far. I won't get complete. You said my legs need tanning.
All right. So let's dive into the first topic that you just touched upon, suicide attempts. First of all, if you or anyone you know is thinking about committing suicide, make sure y'all call the suicide hotline. Talk to somebody. Talk to a stranger if you don't want to talk to anybody that, you know. What got you to that point?
The first time I was very young, so I feel like when you're young, you're a female, you got all these type of emotions going through you. You don't really know how to handle it. And you don't really feel like you have. You okay over there?
Yeah. That was the emotion, the weight of them. That's how it feels.
You don't really know how to express yourself. I didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to. I didn't feel like I had an outlet of like somebody who would understand me. You just felt hopeless and alone.
So did you feel like, so you felt hopeless and alone? Did you feel like, was like one of the emotions that you felt, was it the thought of like, nobody's gonna care if I'm not here or not?
Yeah. I don't think, I was told this on my second attempt that I was selfish because I was taking my life. And I think that always stuck with me because it was like, regardless of if you think I'm selfish, I'm in like such a vulnerable state, so you yelling at me is not going to help the situation either.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a selfish thought. I mean, I'm not saying everybody doesn't have a selfish thought. Like if I kill myself, this is going to hurt that person. I'm not saying people don't have those thoughts. But for me, it wasn't like that. I was thinking that everybody would be fine if I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Like life would still go on.
Yeah.
It would just be a blip. And I've always felt like nobody would ever show it to my funeral.
Yeah.
I've always felt like that.
Yeah. So it's like more like a it's emotional, but I feel like it's also like can have something to do with like chemical imbalances within your body as well. I don't see you have any, but I know like some people will be like young and have gray hair and stuff like that, and that's from like chemical imbalances in your body, and people don't think to like address those kind of things, and it's from like different nutrients and stuff that you're lacking in your body. But one thing I will say is, like you said, like you're feeling to being alone, right? And the craziest thing that I always think about when I hear people say that feeling to being alone, and I know nobody thinks about this, of course, when they're in a moment, but it's like within that time frame of that same second of the day, it's probably 1,000 other people that felt that same exact way. And y'all are all together, you know what I mean? Like, essentially, like, y'all are not alone, you know? But you just feel that way because you're just in such a dark place that even if you're outside, you can't see a light.
Yeah. It is a dark place.
Yeah.
And, like, it's really hard to describe like when you're in it to like other people because it's like you're trying to vocalize, but everything you feel like you're saying is wrong. Like, you feel like no matter your next move is always going to be wrong, and everybody's just looking at you like you're just such a wrong person. Right. So when you feel like that, you just don't feel like you have a place. Yeah. And I just felt like I never had a place. Like I've never felt completely comfortable. Yeah. Wherever I was, and I was just like I'm just like an outsider, so I just don't belong.
And I think that's another big thing, the judgment.
Yeah.
Like people always thinking about judgment and like what everybody else thinks. And I think it's like a natural human like response to a human interaction. Like even I struggle with it. But now I'm at a point in my life it's like I don't give a fuck about what you have to think about me. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. Because I'm sure there's things that you do that the world will probably question you like what the hell's wrong with you?
I mean, I don't care now, but I mean, you got to think about it. When I was, I'm older now, so I've had time to like grow. Right. But then, when I was younger, there wasn't all the technology we have now. Yeah. Right. I wasn't around other kids. It was always just me. Yeah. My siblings, we have different mothers. Yeah. So it's like it was just always me alone, and you know, the abuse started when I was in first grade. So, and I didn't try to commit suicide until I was like in 5th grade. Yeah. So like I already was going through so much. And when I did express what was happening to me, nobody believed me. So it just continued, and then I felt like I didn't have any adults. Like to be a child and not feel like you have the adults that are supposed to care for you is the most heartbreaking feeling ever. Definitely. And I think that's why I am the way I am with my son. Like he will never feel that he doesn't have an adult on his side. I don't care if he's wrong. You have me on your side, and we will talk about the situation, but you'll never feel like you're alone.
And I've heard people say, like, when it comes to their kids, that's why it's important not to tell your kids, like, oh, don't say like that's an adult, or you know what I mean, or like speak on different things because it's like an adult conversation or stuff like that, because it's like then you're telling them that their feelings are invalid, and then they stop coming to you, or they never come to you when it's really something serious.
I don't
that they need to talk
you
about.
know how they're like, oh, go give so and so a hug. I don't make my child give anybody a hug. Yeah, my child doesn't have to touch anybody.
Right. Because that is like breeding grounds for like pedophiles. Yeah. Seems like from what you have said to me that your initial suicide attempt kind of stemmed from the molestation in childhood.
It just felt like I was just alone.
Yeah.
Like I was just feeling like, so by the time when I attempted my first one, I wasn't in the house with the predator anymore. Like I was out the house.
Sorry, still.
Huh?
I was trying to do it. I don't think we can do this one first, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So I wasn't in the house with him anymore, but I also was never treated. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't in therapy. I didn't see a doctor. All those things didn't happen because in certain family members' mind, if you just remove it, it's just the situation's fine now.
Right. Oh, dog. I know you lying. And I feel like back then, a lot of situations like that were really like hush-hush. Like nobody wanted to speak about them, especially if like nothing came of it. Because in some situations, like people would end up pregnant, and that child would be forced to keep that baby. You know what I mean? And nobody ever addressed the issue. Like this is not natural or normal. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it becomes normal to other people when they never address it. You know what I mean? So when it was happening to you, right? Like it felt wrong.
Yeah.
And then like what gave you the courage to like finally speak up when you initially speak up, even if no one like listened to you?
Well, so after the first night, I went and told my mother immediately. Okay. Because I knew it was wrong. Yeah. And I didn't like it. And
sorry, real quick. Did anybody ever talk to you about something like that before?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't get the birds and the bees talk until, I don't know, like 7th grade. It was funny as fuck, but I was just looking at her like, y'all are late. Yeah. But,
or the nobody should see your privates talk. No.
We were like the way we grew up was like very free. Like we used to like run around. Like the kids used to just run around naked. Not saying that like we were all cousins and we were like
nobody thought anything of it.
Nobody thought anything of it. But the person who did it wasn't family. Yeah. They were. Well, I mean, they eventually married my grandmother, but they weren't my like biological. Bloodline, yeah. So we were just like that's just how we always were raised. And the first night it happened, I went and told her.
Your mom?
Yes. And then her response was that I was dreaming and I shouldn't, spread these type of rumors. Okay.
So she didn't validate your feelings?
No. And she just dismissed it. And whenever I would tell my grandmother, it was just dismissed too. I was making up stuff and making up lies about people, and then, that's when I would get a beating or, anger would come towards my way, or my grandmother's great response is to isolate you and make the family isolate you, and then that solves the problem.
To like discredit you?
Yes. So once she gets the family to isolate you and everybody's like, now you're the black sheep, your only way to get back in good graces is to say that it was a lie and that, and then everybody would talk to you again. Okay. It was a very hard family to be in.
Did you ever like break and come to that, or no?
Break and come to what? Apologize?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, there it is.
Well, that was great, guys. I'm glad we have a family reunion sometime. Like, no, I don't talk to any of my mom's family. Yeah. None of them. And I refuse to.
Okay. So you had this experience, right? And you went to your mom. She didn't validate your feelings. She actually discredited you and told you, like, essentially you're crazy. Your grandmom tried to blackball you to discredit you and what you said. So, as a child, how old are you at this point?
The first time? Yeah. What, like when I told them?
When you told them?
First grade? So how old are you?
Okay.
Julius is
I feel like
7.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Do you remember your mindset back then?
My mindset, yeah, for the most part.
I feel like traumatic things, like, I would not remember when I was old, but, like, I feel like when you have traumatic experiences, sometimes you either remember it vividly or you completely, like, block it out and forget.
Well, I do know, no, I remember everything. I just feel like, but that's, like, where my first memories start.
Okay.
Like, where I can remember stuff, and, like, so I remember from first grade up.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I remember from first grade up.
Okay.
And then, after it started happening and nobody would, everybody was telling me that I was wrong.
Yeah.
I started acting out in school.
Okay.
So then I would just talk all the time.
Yeah.
And then I would talk all the time, or I would just, like, lash out. And then when I would get home, I wouldn't speak a word.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Because I felt like my voice didn't need to be heard. So, like, it was one point in time where, like, everybody thought, like, I might have been special.
Okay.
Because, like, I wouldn't talk.
Yeah.
Like, I just wouldn't talk.
Kids have the power of that, like, yo, if a kid can do anything, they can legit, like, not talk. And I feel like a human, like, somebody will say something, I mean, adult, I'm sorry, not human, kids are human. But as an adult, I feel like somebody can say something, like, piss you off or make you respond in a certain kind of way. A kid? You can forget about it.
I will say I still have that superpower.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I'm crying at the superpower because it definitely
It's a superpower. Because people will try to trigger you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just wouldn't talk. I just always felt like, I don't know.
Voiceless.
Oh, yeah. So I was just like, there's no point in me talking. I would play in the corner by myself.
Wow.
Like,
Did you have an imaginary friend?
no, I didn't. Surprised, but no. I didn't.
You said, fuck all these other things.
Fuck all these
just need
people.
me.
When am I 18 so I can get the fuck out of here?
When you were around other men, did that trigger anything in you when you were younger? No?
No, because I didn't think other people were bad. I don't think people are just bad. I do know people are born bad. I do believe that. But I don't think everybody's bad. But would I be alone with men? No.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't be alone in a situation where, like, no. I just always were aware of, like, I don't,
Yeah, like, you can play that.
Yeah, and I don't like being around drunk men.
Okay.
Like, to this day.
Was he drunk when?
No.
No?
Sober, nasty motherfucker.
Am I starting from the top now?
Yes.
So, you went through that experience, very traumatic. I'm honestly, like, sorry that you even had to experience that. How did you heal from that, or, like, evolve from who you were when you experienced all that?
I don't think you really necessarily heal from it.
Okay.
I feel like it's like grief, because I don't feel like people ever stop grieving.
Okay.
You just learn how to live with
Okay.
it. I think it does help with my personality, like how I view different things. I feel like I'm more realistic about situations instead of, like, I feel like when you're not realistic about it, it always gives an overshadow of something that can happen that you just feel like would never happen to me. You know what I mean? Like, it can happen to anybody. You okay?
I had to get my bearings. Yeah, cause sorry. I feel like that is a common misconception, right? Like, people.
Oh, and it's a German Shepherd. Oh, we just going to just not have a leash on him? Oh, that's cool. Oh, he does have a leash. He's not holding it. Okay.
It looks like he's trained, though. We're gonna just say you never heal from it. You're always grieving. So you live in the back of your mind. And you said you're realistic because you feel like people will have this idea like it will never be me. And I do truly feel like people do that. Like me, like, I feel like when I'm out, and I've never had an experience like that, but when I'm out, I'm always on high alert. Like, it's very rare for me to be out and just be, like, loose, drunk off my ass. Like, I had to really be around people I trust, that I know that, like, if anything was to happen, like, it would be a problem for everybody. For me to, like, really feel confident in doing that. But, like, my mom is always one of those people, like,
you have to know where the X's are.
You drink, you gonna put your cup down, you need a new drink.
Yeah.
You gonna go to the bathroom by yourself, like, always real high alert about stuff like that. But I will say too, do you feel like what happened to you when you were younger distorted your femininity as an adult?
Yes.
In what sense?
I mean, you're around me. I'm not really a feminine person.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I don't like attention.
Okay.
So, like I dress like I know that I could wear certain things.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really my issue.
Yeah.
Do I feel comfortable in them? No, because I feel like they gravitate towards attention that I'm scared of.
Uh-huh.
I don't like catcalling. I've never been good with catcalling.
What's that?
Catcalling, I'm like, damn, Ma, come here, Ma. No, don't touch me, don't come near me, don't speak to me. It's like I just don't like. I don't like that. To get my attention, you have to be very subtle, a gentleman. You know, I don't have to feel threatened in your presence, but you can still be manly. But I don't have to feel like at any moment you can put me in a headlock and throw me in your trunk.
Yeah, that's deep.
Because the reality is that can happen to anybody if you're put in that situation. You don't know how aggressive a man can get. And
I'm losing my damn mind right now.
You already done it. I didn't stop you though on purpose. But I think like I'm feminine in certain ways. Like I'm very delicate with my son.
Okay.
I'm very, doting on my husband. But like I'm more of a like it takes me to be comfortable to be feminine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can understand that. But honestly, I feel like for certain kind of women that were never like put in that position to always have like a soft girl life, I feel like it is hard for them to like completely come into their femininity.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a certain kind of man to even make them get into that. Like I feel like, all right, so say if you were to go out with your husband versus your friends, do you feel like do you feel like if you were to go out with your husband versus your friends, that with your husband you will feel more comfortable dressing a certain way, behaving a certain way, versus with your friends?
Yes.
And it's because like he gives you that like sense of security,
like
and protection that you know.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not ashamed of a tussle here and there. Like I'll tussle the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
But
why even put yourself in this situation?
Why put myself in that situation? And I do feel like as I've gotten older, who you're around matters. And who your as much as people don't want to, your friends are a representation of you. And could I wear certain things around my friends? Of course. But my single friends, probably not.
Why?
Because when you're with your single friends want the attention. They want that. And I'm not an attention person.
Yeah.
Like I'm not I can't fit into that mold for you.
Right.
Now if we're going out having a good time and some guys come up, okay. But I'm not looking, like I don't want to be around the looking for attention.
Yeah.
Like I
like the
oh bitch. Like no. Put your ass down.
Calm down now.
Calm the
I'm
fuck
gonna
down.
have you talking to
The 99 and the 2000s is not on right now. That's the only time.
That's an exception.
That's the only exception right now. We are at dinner. Then I also feel like sometimes people just do things at the wrong time. Like because they want attention. And it's just like, sweetie, we pretty. We don't need attention.
Yeah.
We are the decoration.
Right.
Like, we don't have to do stunts and shows. We're pretty in our own right. You don't have to make it so much of a show because you need attention. And I've just never been that type of person. And it kind of like makes me like, I can't hang out with you and I'm sorry because I love you. Right. But like I can't be around that because it fucks with me. Yeah.
So whenever a female puts you in that situation where you feel like this is too much, you're doing too much, taper down. Do you feel like you vocalize that, or do you just like mental note like we're not doing this ever again?
Mental note, because at the end of the day, I can't tell you how to act as a person.
Yeah,
that's
have fun.
Yeah, like if that's how you have fun, then that's cool. Like who am I to judge you?
Right.
Like I'm not the final say in this.
Yeah.
It's just a mental note for me. Like okay, we're more of a like lunchtime friends.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. You know, like maybe I'm the prude, but don't get me wrong, I do love to have a good time too. Like I love to go out, I love to dance, I love to be social, but I also know that unfortunately the times we live in, you can't always be social with everybody.
Right. Very true. Very true. Do you feel like you are a very good like character judge?
I'm horrible.
Judgment of character, because I couldn't get that word out just now.
I feel like I'm horrible because I feel like I could read people. That's fine. Like, I
Okay.
could read people. I could read situations.
Mhm.
But the reason why I say I'm a horrible judge of character is because I always tell you all the time, like, I really don't have a lot of friends.
Mhm.
So because I don't have a lot of friends, I always try to be friends with people
Okay.
that obviously aren't the best of people to be friends with.
Okay. Because at the end of the day, I feel like, why do we have to be good judgment of character? Like, people should just be good people.
But
Like,
they're
why
not,
are people
though.
bad people? And that's irritating.
But I really feel like...
That's so frustrating to me.
How do you think I feel? No, it is irritating, but I really feel like people don't really fully accept that they might not be a good person. Like, no, a lot of people are gonna wake up and be like, yeah, I'm not a good person, but, you know, okay. Like, nobody realizes that the things that they do just aren't good.
Yeah.
And they just feel like it's okay, especially if nobody calls you out on your
Right.
shit.
And I think that's the problem. Nobody ever tells
Oh,
certain
I'll
people
call you
that
out
are
on your
beneficial.
shit, and I think that's my issue.
I think that's I think that's really a big problem. Like, I feel like people who are around other people who may be beneficial to them, they're not going to call them out because it's like, all right, then I may lose my access to you. And I'm going to, like, mess up this whole relationship and my potential opportunities by being around you.
Oh, no, I will tell you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing. A lot of people don't like to be told the truth.
Yeah.
Stay close to your legs. Come down. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people don't like to be told the truth.
Very true.
They also don't want to be called out on things that they're doing, whether it be right or wrong.
Yeah.
Now, you can't be around me if you can't hold yourself accountable.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of people don't want to hold themselves accountable.
Absolutely. So what do you feel like amongst us all, and then you said you got kicked out at 18. What do you feel like that did for you?
Getting kicked out at 18? It was hard. I lived in my car for a while.
Okay.
You know, I would like go to people's houses and, you know, take showers and stuff. And then when I finally got my own place, it was like this tiny apartment. I didn't even have a refrigerator. It was so tiny, so I had to buy like one of them like fridges you get from like college, like one of the dorm room fridges. It was hard because at 18, most people go to school and stuff like that. So I had to take 2 years off.
Yeah.
To get myself stable enough to be even a person to figure out how I can even go to college.
Right.
So, I mean, it taught me a lot. It taught me about a PSE&G bill really fast.
I'm sure.
It just taught me more of, I just feel like, and I think that's what I regret about certain things is that I never was able to fully be a child.
Okay.
Or like grow up normally. Like I had to be rushed. I had to be forced.
Yeah.
Like I feel like nobody's really an adult at 18. But unfortunately I had to be. And, you know, I had to deal with that and then like trying to date and trying to find myself as a person, trying to figure out what I want to do in life.
Right.
And it was just a lot. And I feel like looking back on it, it's just all those experiences helped me be more mature and like more rational with things because if you don't got money for something, I don't have nobody to call. Yeah. Like when people be like, oh, I'll just ask my mom for this. That's nice. Yeah. I can't.
I don't have that.
Yeah, you know, so it just taught me more realistic things. It taught me how to like, I'll never forget the worst thing that I ever spent money on when I first moved out was laundry. Because I wouldn't wash my own clothes.
Oh, so you paid for them to do it?
I would pay for them to do it. And then one day, they were like backed up and I like really needed something in it, and so I like washed it myself and seen like the cost difference. I was like, what the fuck was I doing?
Wow. Was this my thing?
And then I rationalized like, well, I had a lot of time to do different stuff, but you know, having somebody else fold your drawers, that was a little weird. But other than that,
one more question I forgot to ask you when we were on the other topic. When you were going through everything with the molestation and everything, did you ever think to tell somebody outside your family, since nobody on your side of your family believed you?
I didn't have anybody to tell.
Like, you feel like comfortable enough to go to a teacher or anything?
No. I remember I grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
So the teachers weren't happy either.
Okay.
And then I got kicked out of my school for like being bad.
Okay.
So it's like they wouldn't have listened to me anyway. They probably would have thought I was just being bad. I didn't really have anybody to talk to, like, because I would come home, not be around any other kids or anything, and my mom would be doing whatever she was doing, so I was always left alone.
Yeah.
And like she left me alone, like in the house she knew I wouldn't set the house on fire, so she was fine. And then I would be around kids in school, And then I just felt like the kids in school couldn't relate to me because who else is going home getting touched by anybody?
Right.
You know, so I didn't tell anybody there. So
Yeah.
I always felt alone no matter if I was around people.
Right. So what advice would you have for like each different person, which is like a part of you? So like the suicidal G, the molested G, and the kicked out at 18-year-old G. So let's start with the suicidal G. Like, what advice would you have for somebody that feels like that right now?
Don't turn to alcohol. I know it's easy. I know it's, you know, an easy fix for a temporary feeling, but don't turn to alcohol. Find an outlet, like find something to put all your energy into, because when you're sitting alone with those thoughts, they tear you down.
Yeah.
Like they're horrible, and that's why a lot of people turn to drinking. And I definitely was one of those people. Like I used to drink all the time.
Okay.
And it was just because you want to feel numb, like you don't want to feel anything, you don't want to have thoughts, you just want to have a good time and like just forget everything. But all those good times are so temporary. Like they don't. I mean, I had a lot of fun, but they don't really add up to like fixing what the core problem is.
Right.
So like, don't turn to a substance because it's not going to help you.
Right, in the long run.
Yeah. I don't know what I can give any advice to because I feel like there's nothing you can really do in that situation that will fix how you feel. You know what I mean? But like, everybody's gonna be like, find somebody to talk to. That's really all you can. But like, you do initially feel alone, so that's why people don't really say anything.
Right.
And you got to think about it, especially the younger you start, the more the adult can control the situation for a child.
Okay. Because they put fear in you. So, what would you say to that child or that teenager? What would you tell them to do to protect themselves if they feel like there's no other way to go? Like is there any advice that you could give?
To my 12-year-old self? Stop being so hard on yourself. Okay. Like I know it's hard, especially as women, we're like ridiculously hard on ourselves. But like I feel like as a child, I was always hard on myself. Like for a really long time, I always felt like everything that happened to me was my fault.
Right.
Like, oh, getting molested, my fault. Family not talking to me, my fault. Like everything was always my fault, and I just had to realize like I can take accountability for the things that I do. Right. But I can't tell a grown man that touching a child is my fault, because it's not. Yeah. And when everything came out with my family, my grandmother even said it was my fault. Like she was like, "Oh, you seduced him," and I was just like, "How? I'm the child. Like I'm the one. Like everybody's supposed to love me. God damn it! Yeah. like, but it's like, okay, since it's my fault, you were just not my people. Right. And I just like that's just one thing I had to stop hoping that your family will be your family and you can create your own thing. Yeah. That's one thing. Another thing, because I wanted my family so bad, because you see on TV, everybody got these perfect families, everybody, and then like when you be around people who have like good families,
it's like why am I not like this?
Fucking hit in the face. Like it's like a literal punch in the face every time. And I had to realize that I can't keep hoping for a family that's just not my family. Right. Yeah.
Alright. Well, thanks, G, for being so open and talking with us. This is really good, and I really appreciate you doing this, because you telling your story and you speaking about your truth is definitely going to help somebody, because somebody's experiencing this crazy.
Well, I hope not.
They are, though. It's like the harsh reality, but hopefully you speaking your truth and telling your story will allow somebody to see they're not alone, that other people do go through this, and not that takes away from their experience, but it allows them to see that you made it through it, and maybe too can go through it.
I hope so. Silly.